Good morning. Good morning, Slovenia. Thank you for being here, dear customers, dear partners, and dear fans of SAP. Talking about basketball and fans, when I woke up this morning, unfortunately I had to see that my hometown in Germany, they lost the second game of the playoffs in basketball. That was sad because they were actually leading the pack with 20 points, but then they gave it all away. But I'm honored actually to be here today at SAP Forum 2013 to actually give you a glance at on what SAP means in terms of innovation and how we innovate and are ready to help you reshaping the future of your business. Globally, the world is currently at an inflection point. Since 2008 and 2009, when the economic downturn because of the breakdown of Lehman Brothers came up, what we are facing is what we call the new normal in economy. We see a huge volatility in terms of markets, in terms of share prices, in terms of commodities having tremendously volatility. We see an increased globalization where actually effects which happen in completely different continents have an impact of what we are doing in Europe, and we are seeing the situation actually in many countries, especially of Southern Europe. So there's an increased risk on focus in these countries, and it's hard to get cash, and there's an increased pressure in terms of margins, and regulatory changes are coming and are not going to go away. At the same time, what we are seeing globally, we see that the middle class is tremendously growing to 5 billion people over the next years. What this means is that these people who have worked hard to be educated, are working hard, are now ready to consume. They are ready not only to feed with basic nutrition, they're also ready to consume new technology, new consumer products, which will give us an increased and tremendous pull in terms of resources. At the same time, even today, we already have 1 billion network users. With this, I mean not only Facebook, I also mean the same social media, for example, in China called Weibo, which is dramatically increasing. I'm also thinking about business users on networks, where actually supply chains are steered and procurement processes are steered leveraging networks. And just recently, I worked with students in terms of how we can innovate our HR software. And it was a small group of 5 people, and it was amazing to see how they worked. If they wanted to know something, they did not Google initially. They simply asked in the team the question, and they got, for one question, 4 or 5 answers. They combined this into their answer. So actually, they had the DNA in them on how to use a social network already today. And now just think about what this means for your products. If, for example, on Facebook or another social media, a sentiment is made, if a bad opinion is there about your products, how fast this is going to take it. And just think about the recent political changes also around the Mediterranean, what social media made it, and what also this could mean to your supply chain if you combine it with the power of the business. Mobile devices have a proliferation which is unknown and unprecedented before. Today, we have more mobile devices than people on Earth. Some 2 years back, when I gave such a keynote, I had the example that there are more mobile devices than toothbrushes on Earth. Today, I have to say that there are even more mobile devices than people. And if you remember the recent papal elections some 8 years ago, for centuries, thousands of people were flooding into the Peter's Dome in Rome, and they were all waiting to see the new Pope. This year, everything you could see were not actually the people, but these were the displays of the smartphones that they held up to take photos of this. And in every concert where you are today, you will not only see the people, you also will see the smartphones. Now combine the power of the social networks with the power of the growing middle class and the availability to consume data and to share information every time and everywhere you are. And it's not just about mobile devices, it's also about web-enabled devices. Because it's not just that actually people are entering data manually, it's also that, for example, in your household, in your car, in aircraft, automatic sensors are collecting data which can be used to change your business. Today, there are 15 billion of these web-enabled devices available, with a growing number. So think about what this means in terms of big data. Think about the fact that we are not talking just about photos and videos in terms of big data, but that we are talking about a massive increase also of business data collected by these devices. The amount of data globally is doubling every 18 months. Think about a few hundred years ago when monks were copying books by handwriting. Think about what it meant when the printing machine was invented by Gutenberg. Think about what happened when the photocopier was invented. And think about what it means to copy a 1,000 word document, 1,000 pages Word document today. It's not a question of years as it used to be a few hundred years ago. It's a question of a few seconds or milliseconds to go. So what we've got to do with these effects is we've got to not just to think about the amount of data and the devices we have, we also have the cloud as a completely different way on how to consume these applications. On a mobile device, being able to handle large amounts of data, easy from everywhere you are. So this is what we are talking about if we say we must rethink the future. And we've done so as SAP over the past 42 years a number of times because we challenged assumptions. Some 42 years ago, the founders of SAP, they challenged the assumption that software is individual because they thought, well, there are processes which can be standardized. And this was the basic idea of what they did when they founded SAP. They overcome the thought that software has to be individual, and they standardized it. And when SAP invented a software called R2, they again challenged the assumption because they thought we can have a mainframe computer which helps companies, and large companies especially, to collaborate across organizational boundaries. The R in R2 and later in R3, by the way, stands for real-time. But real-timeliness by that time meant something completely different than today, because it simply meant that if I'm doing a financial planning on sales and operations planning, for example, somebody else has the access to the results immediately as soon as I'm hitting the save button. This has changed, and this has brought a dramatic increase in terms of predictability of what customers could do. And this brought SAP into a leading position in applications. Think about R3, where again we challenged the assumption of having a mainframe. Instead, we were convinced that a scalable and rather cost-effective client-server solution is far more advanced. This brought SAP into a leading position in applications. And I'm proud that today, some 63% of all transactions handled globally run through SAP systems. If somebody asks me, Kai, what are you doing at SAP? I've stopped talking about software development and solution management and selling them. I simply name customer examples. I simply name numbers like, for example, 75% of the world's chocolate production is running through SAP system. For some people, maybe much more important, some 78% of the world's beer production is running through SAP systems. So this is what SAP is contributing. And not just in terms of applications, but also in terms of making use of the data that you are supporting with these applications, in terms of analyzing these data, in terms of planning, in terms of predicting the outcome that you are going to have as a business. Also, in recent years, we had an increased focus on mobility, because today the user is expecting to have his applications not only sitting on a desktop, but also on a tablet or a mobile device. So that's something completely normal for us now, that we are also able to handle these huge amounts of mobile devices that our customers and also consumers are using. And we are also making a big strive in terms of technology, in terms of databases. And finally, we have also entered a completely new era in terms of cloud deployments of our software. So we've thought about, is this just a portfolio which is there that we can go out and further support our customers? Or is it time to challenge a few basic assumptions once again? And the name which is closely attached to challenging some attention is called HANA. SAP HANA is an in-memory database. And it's not just a database, as you will learn from me in a few seconds. It's much more, because we challenge the assumption that a database has to run on a hard disk. We thought about how can we dramatically increase the speed of business transactions by putting the data not on a disk, which is rather slow, but really put it into main memory. And the difference it makes is, if I want to take a glass of water, why should I travel to Rome? Instead, I could go here and simply grab this bottle. And if you think about the time difference, that's exactly the difference between a slow disk in a traditional database and accessing data from main memory. So instead of traveling to Rome to have a glass of water, we each time simply grab the glass of water next to me. And this is a tremendous effect. But innovation is not just a question of having a great idea and doing things like they used to be in the same way. If you think about big innovations by your time, and also very personally, think about these examples. I very much remember when I had my first Walkman. I was proud like hell. I remember the first people with cell phones being very important, talking to each other. I remember as a kid the birthday when I received the gift, which was my first photo camera. Now think about what happened to these companies who did not invent and innovate in real time, but who simply moved on as they started. Where do you have your Walkman today? What is your cell phone looking like? And do you still own a traditional camera? Many of these vendors have simply gone out of business because they did not innovate in real time and they stuck to old traditional thinking. Instead, combining capabilities with innovation was something which was extremely powerful. And the example of the iPhone is definitely something extremely compelling in this sense. If today, or let's say 2 years ago, my wife asked me if we should buy a new navigation device. And actually I said, no, I'm not going to buy now a new navigation device for my car, but you have an iPhone. Why don't you simply go and download the latest navigation software on this device, because it has all sensors. It has a GPS, it has voice, yeah? It has all your addresses in there which you might want to travel to. So simply by combining different capabilities, like an app store, like a mobile platform, like GPS data, this completely changed on how devices are perceived today. And this consolidation and this innovation is going to continue as we speak. And at SAP, we are right now doing very much the same. Because what we are doing is, we are also rethinking what not just a database is, but we combine it. And actually, what we've done is, we've taken the in-memory technology, the in-memory database called HANA, and we've combined it, for example, with predictive methods. Because think about collection of all the data which you get via sensors, for example, from a car, if you're a car manufacturer, and you get all the data from the car via the sensors directly into your database. You can analyze them, that's fine. But if you combine this with predictive methods, you can also determine, because of the failure of other cars who had a similar usage behavior, on when certain parts in your car will break down. Think about what you can do if you're also combining what we did, this with unstructured text data which reside in social media. You can get an insight into the sentiments that customers and consumers have on your products. And you can directly react to this, and you can be proactive in your business. So we are combining a database technology with analytical capabilities, with predictive capabilities, in order to deliver a real-time data platform. But let us now have a look at a video outlining to you how the next generation solutions look like and what this means in terms of applications to you. To the video, please.
Imagining where we could be, regardless of where we are. That is the vision that inspires innovation. A vision that has driven SAP from the very beginning. That sparked the technology that our founders pioneered. The vision to make real-time business a reality for companies both big and small. It's what motivates the 65,000 people who come to work here every day. What's led to our biggest developments for the past 40 years. From R2 to R3 to Business Suite. And today, our biggest development yet. The software that reinvented business, reinvented. Software at the heart of tens of thousands of the world's best-run companies meets the power of in-memory technology. Introducing SAP Business Suite, now powered by the next-generation platform, SAP HANA. Now you have the exponentially greater ability to analyze, predict, and respond to live data from across your entire company instantly, redefining your business in ways you never thought possible. Redefining business as we know it. What happens when the world's best-run companies run SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA? We can't wait to find out.
So let us find out jointly. Because for SAP, technology was always an enabler. It is not our strength simply to dump different technologies to you. But what we've always done in our history, which made us great, was that we've applied the technology in the context of your industry or of your line of business. And this is why today we are supporting some 24 industries, or to be more precise, in the meantime it's 25 because we just added sports events to it, and 11 lines of business with our applications and our solutions. So what we are doing right now is we are leveraging the HANA platform to innovate across these industries and lines of business. And just yesterday, I was at a trading company in Rotterdam, and we discussed, for example, what HANA and the combination of our supply chain and treasury functionality could mean in terms of commodity trading. And in recent years, and we are going to continue doing this, we have extended our footprint and our richness of the applications and of our solution portfolio by co-innovating in different industries and lines of business. We are doing this, for example, for consumers. So if you think about sales, service, and marketing, where we think about what it means if you have real-time information about your customer. So for example, if you're in a call center, that the minute you pick up the phone, you do not only have, because you have the telephone number, the contact information of this individual and his buying history. You also know the buying behavior of similar customers who bought the same products than this individual bought, which you currently have online. And instead of sending him an email once he has put down his receiver, while he is still in the line, you can make him tailored offers based on his needs. Also think about what SAP is doing for the line of business HR in terms of employees. Think about what it means that it's hard to get skilled and reliable and loyal employee base into your company. This is where our talent management solutions, our HR solutions are designed to recruit the best talent, to retain it, and to further develop this talent in your company. Think about what the R in ERP stands for. It's not real time, it's resources. No matter whether we are talking about your financial assets, about your manufacturing processes, supply chain, about maintenance, this is where, by combining real-time data with our applications, with the HANA platform, we are innovating. And last but not least, we are using HANA to completely rethink how business networks can work in terms of matching demand and supply, to automate your invoice processing, and to best determine a supplier to your needs. We have started this journey around the HANA platform in order to come to a world that runs better. And we are convinced with SAP Business Suite, powered by SAP HANA, we can run your business smarter, faster, and simpler. With smarter, I mean the fact that you can develop completely new business models. Because think about the automotive manufacturer I was just mentioning. Based on the data and based on the predictive maintenance capability, he can really move from just selling the car into offering completely new service models which will guarantee an uptime to the user. And think about this in the area, for example, of agriculture machinery, of production machineries, and so on. If I talk about faster, I'm not talking about the single transactions so that you are increasing your performance. I'm talking about the speed of a whole process, on how you can reduce cycle times so that actually, for example, your month-end close is coming down from 7 days down to 1 or 2 days. This is, for example, what we just did in a proof of concept with a global Fortune 500 customer who brought, by applying the speed that Suite on HANA brings to him, really in order to bring down dramatically his closing times. In terms of simplification, I'm thinking about not just IT simplification of having all your applications now in main memory. I'm especially also thinking about new user experience being available on desktop, on a tablet, on a mobile device. So think about how you can deliver personalized offers for superior customer experience. So that if a customer enters a store, he immediately gets the latest offers which are relevant to him. So that while he is in the store, he can take the decision and actually you can increase your revenue with this customer. Think about how you can empower employees with the right information to make smarter decisions, so that a financial department can give the right information, the right data, not in their Excel spreadsheets which somebody has to analyze, but actually tailored to the need of the consumer. Think about how we can optimize your resources to anticipate and respond to market changes faster. So that if there's an increased demand, you can go through your whole supply chain and really take the right decisions in order to proactively fulfill the demand which is there. And think about how you can collaborate across businesses and social networks to power your growth. Think about how you can make use of the network that we are offering. And actually, by combining the best of breakthrough technology powered by a completely reimagined real-time platform. This is what we are currently doing with our customers in an open co-innovation. And if you are interested in this, just visit suiteonhana.com. There you get the full insight and leverage the presentations you would see today in terms of what SAP can bring to you in order to make your business run better and in order to, next slide please, to reshape the business that you are in. So we help you to reshape the future of your business. And with this, I hope that you have an extraordinary day here at the SAP Forum. Fala to you and thank you. Bye.